Hi, everyone. Happy Monday and welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today? I know it's Monday. The weekend goes by so fast. And Saturday was a busy day for me, so it doesn't even feel like I had a weekend. But anyway, in any event, I am here today. I'm glad I'm here a little bit earlier today because last week was crazy, guys. I was hopping, skipping, and jumping through hoops because of some things that needed to be taken care of. So um, I'm here today, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know it goes really quick. Enjoy it because this weather is changing. It's going to get cold soon, and then it's going to get dark early. I think starting next month, the time change or something like that. And by 5 o'clock, it'll be dark again. So enjoy the sunlight as much as you can right now. Um, so, guys, I don't know if I told you this or not. Um, on Sundays, especially Sunday evening, it's like for the most part, I'm getting a little better, but it's really still hard on Sundays because that's the day I used to be on the phone talking to my mom a lot. And it's just wow, wow, wow. It's what I'm saying to myself because, it's this is so permanent, not being able to talk to her, not being able to hear her stories, her laughter, her voice. And some people think I should be over that now, but it's my mother. If anyone meant anything to you, you never get over it. You can get through it, but you never get over it. It's a huge loss. My dad passed away like 2 years before I had my son, and he never got a chance to see him, spend time, and that was bad enough. But my mom, it was just really, even though she was here to spend time with him and do things with him, but just her not being here anymore, it's very hard at times, and I do things that, try to keep myself from going into the grief, because sometimes grief is like sneak up on you when you least expect it. And, I have that issue on Sundays, not every Sunday, but, you know, enough Sundays to know that it just still bothers me. But so anybody going through any grief, I understand. Just keep moving forward. Allow yourself to feel the pain and just don't stay in that place. We never get over the loss, but we can get through it. Just one day at a time, one step at a time. Never let anyone rush you in a process. And I suggest, finding a therapist that can help you get through it like I did, one day at a time. So, guys, I hope you all are doing well. The topic of discussion today is when God wants to transform your life. Everything that I talk about, the topics and little examples I give of what I've gone through, all these things I talk about lead to healing. I always tie in healing into them. So, um, with that being said, when God wants to transform your life for the better, and you're not doing it and you just he really wants to transform your life for the better. He will allow you to go through the most and the worst people of situations, especially when you're not learning the lessons, or it's just you're spinning on that wheel and you've been riding that wheel for a long time, and you don't know how to get off of it. Sometimes God will let you sink so low until you understand that this is not it. This what I'm going through and these circumstances, individuals, etc. He would let you see the mask stripped off and what these, what the the people behind the mask are doing, and let you look at what's happening to you. And that's what happened to me. And I'm talking from experience, way down to the ground where you can't get any lower. And this is why I can talk and relate to other people because I've been there. I had something that was said not too long ago. Oh, you have a perfect life and you have this. Nothing was handed to me. And I know I didn't have a perfect life from the time I been born up until I decided to do the work. The hell, it's been hell. Hell on top of hell, intense hell. Until I made a decision when I was so low to the ground. I lost my mom, my dog, you know, just like 10 people and all these different circumstances, and I had to see not only is life really short, but life is too short to be dealing with drama, toxicity, hell, and all this other stuff, and people judging people and telling people they going to hell and condemning and all of this. Life is too short for that. We need to be helping one another, uplifting in the world we live in today that's spending mostly on misery and hate, and like I said, when God's ready to heal you, to transform your life, sometimes you got to go through the worst and the most before you can, bring yourself out of the mud. It reminds me like of just being so low to the ground, to the ashes, and then being risen up again as you start to heal and do the work. Um, this is part of the transformation process. I didn't understand that at first when I was going through all these trials and tribulations. It just felt like I was alone. I didn't have a support system. And the people who were supporting me and who were in my life were dying off, including my own dog. And I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. But life, I look at it like a caterpillar. Before the caterpillar starts out that way, but at the end, it turns into this beautiful butterfly. So sometimes we got to go through hell and more hell before we can see the situations in our life that is bringing pain and grief and trauma and all types of negativity to our life. And once we are broken down to the ground to see that, then God give us a chance to do something about it. Either we're going to heal or we're going to stay in that place of brokenness, or being down to the ground. And I refuse to stay in that place because I know I didn't deserve it. Um, when you endure these things and put your trust in God, because that's what I was being shown, that I was putting my trust in the wrong places and people and ex-partners. In institutions like, I'm going to say, like religious organizations, um, putting my trust in other places instead of with God. And I had to be broken down like that so I could be shown, hey, God is here, trust Him and let Him take this burden. Um, and it wasn't easy for me to do that because I was riding that wheel, till the wheel was about to fall off. And I had to learn that if I would give these problems and situations to God, talk to Him every day. And what I did when I was so low and I started to see all the people who I had around me who were just didn't really support me, and they were not there for good reasons. Didn't really care about me because as everything started to fall apart, they were just nowhere in sight. And when I say people, people like, when you just need somebody to talk to sometimes, nobody was there, but I was there for them when they needed me to talk to, a favor, etc. And I had to learn that this wasn't it. I had to put my trust in God and trust the process as I was doing so. Um, God will lift you up from the dirt and ashes and bring you to a place of greatness when you trust Him and you put your faith in Him and you say, God, I don't know how you're going to do this, when, are the details of this, but I'm going to put my trust and faith in you. And what I started to do is make vows. As I started to do the work for, starting with therapy. And then as I did more and more of it on a weekly basis, I started to get creative with ways to lift myself up out of the grief and the dirt and the hell and all of this. And so I started, which I'm going to share with you guys, some of it, making vows to God, paying tithes to a church, whether I belong to it or not, because it's God's house. Pay my tithes. Whatever they do with those tithes is on them, but making sure that I honor the vows that I made to God. It doesn't have to be anything like, you know, something extraordinary, but something that you can handle and something that you're doing with God. When you make vows to Him and you keep those vows and you're in the upright and you're not out here trying to hustle to hurt somebody, do somebody in or whatever, and you're in the upright. And that's what I mean when I say the upright, God will come through for you. And I'm living proof of that. And I see over and over again as I take these steps, God is taking 2 and 3 and 4. And people, as I tell you, if God is for you, it doesn't matter what haters are doing because God got your back. He's not going to let you fall. You have to reach out and trust Him, and have faith in Him and ask Him to help you. And that's what I had to do. But I didn't really do it until I was at the lowest point of my life. And also, there was things my mom would tell me. And when we're growing up, and even in our 30s or 40s, whatever the case, I didn't want to hear my mother tell me, well, if you do A, B, C, and D, then you will see the results of D, E, F, and G. I didn't want to hear all that stuff. And it's like the Charlie Brown cartoon when adults are talking, and it's like, well, wah, 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 wah. But I heard what she said, but I wasn't putting it into practice until after she passed away. And everything she told me and everything she taught me, and I put it into action, and I see the results of it. And I really wish she was here and I could talk to her about it. But you learn and you live and you learn. And when you endure the worst type of crap, and hell and all of these things that I've gone through, some of you probably gone through it. I'm not sure. You can tell me in the comments, but it's no fun. It's not fun, and it's very painful to see, to have to be sat down and see that people who you grew up with, family that you didn't ask to be in, and how these people really feel about you. And then you thinking all along they have your back, and then you find out they don't. It can be painful, it can be hurtful, but I had to learn to trust God. Um, as I started to do that, God started to lift me up, you know, and open doors. God started to open doors as I started to feel better. I started to do better and take steps. He would open up doors that no man or woman can shut. I promise you that once you continue to do that. But what helps me a lot too is the vows that I make, keeping those vows. And sometimes my life get busy and I'm like, nope, I got to stop and, not answer the phone, not because the specific vows that I've made that I honor them and make sure, because like I said, I don't play with God. Um, and I trust Him in a process. And it's been so like in the beginning difficult because I was the type of person, guys, the old version of myself. I didn't want to be bothered with a lot of things, putting stuff on a back burner that should have been taken care of because I didn't feel like being bothered. But as I talk to you guys about the caterpillar, first starts off that way, and then after it goes through metamorphism, it turns into a butterfly. So sometimes you got to be down to the ground before you can get up again and be renewed and transformed. And this is why I'm talking about this, because sometimes in order for God to transform you, He's got to remove everything from your life, the people, the situations, the circumstances. The metamorphism has taken place, and I'm no longer the version of the old Lisa Vaughn, because the old Lisa Vaughn would never be up here on YouTube. The old Lisa Vaughn would never tell people, be assertive and tell people, no, no, I'm not doing this. No, you know. And when someone would say something that's disrespectful, I would just talk about it to myself or be upset about it. No, I'm going to check you on it now. I don't have to be nasty about it. Listen, don't speak to me in that manner. This is the way. Teach people how to treat you, and if they don't want to treat you in a way that you deserve to be treated, which is with respect, set boundaries. When they disrespect the boundaries, I just cut off, block, and delete. Before it was painful, like, oh my God. And I would be, but the least I am today, I don't have time for that. People, life is too short for the drama and the BS. Therefore, the folks from my past no longer know who I am, and they don't have access to me because I cut most of them off because they were not respecting boundaries, was not allowing me to heal. Just was there to just add to the grief and the pain and the negativity. And they no longer have any control or attachments to me because I'm no longer the same person. And they wouldn't even know who I am today because I don't allow toxicity in. I mean, we all have something, right? We all have a little bit of something, but I'm talking about full blown toxicity where somebody loved to get some drama started and I had, people that will try that and I just look at them and walk away. I have no time for that in my life because most of the time I go into prayer and meditation while listening to music because it helps me and it helps me to keep things balanced, having balance in my life, discipline. That's important. That's something that I didn't have as much as I have today because I would make decisions, if somebody wants to date me, oh, okay, that's not something that I would say just okay to today. um if I'm interested, we're going to take our time, get to know each other, we're going to do some fun stuff, go bowling, do stuff, and when people don't want to do that, then you don't want to date me because I'm not, rushing into anything. And even when it comes to making decisions, signing contracts about certain things, this and that, I'm going to take my time. I was dealing with something recently and the guy kept contacting me about signing some things. I'm not signing this. And then I finally told him that if I have to, pay for something that, you know, it was ridiculous. I'm not going to go into details, but I just told him, don't contact me anymore. The old Lisa would never say that because it would feel so uncomfortable to tell someone not to contact me anymore. But it was at the point where it was irritating because, listen, I read the small print, I read the dotted whatever in the corner because that's who I am. I'm not going to allow somebody to, you know, draw me into something that's going to create problems. And if my intuition tells me to just hold off, I'm going to listen to it. Listen to your intuition. It's there for a reason. It's going to help you. Not only is it going to help you, it can save you from a lot of situations that can cause you a lot of grief. So this is, when I'm in a place where I'm listening to music, like for example, before I come on, I try to listen to music a lot, and then I get downloads about what I'm going to talk about. Because sometimes when I get ready to come on here, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about until I put on some music. I go into prayer, and then I get downloads as to what I'm going to be talking about, like today. Um, I get downloads and then I start writing notes. Like I have notes here, but I talk mostly from my experiences and things that I've gone through. I am very tuned in and I listen to my intuition. And when I see things that feel uncomfortable, and if something tells me this situation doesn't feel right, I'm not gonna deal with it, no matter what it is, whether it's a business matter, your relationship, whatever it is, family situation. If something tells me something doesn't feel right, I'm gonna always listen to that because I'm very tuned in. You know, when I face challenges today, I don't do what the old Lisa would do. It's just, oh, this is too much. I don't want to be bothered with this. Put this on a back burner. Because when you put things on a back burner, then it just adds on to the problem. It's like a bill you need to pay, and you're like, I'm gonna pay this 2 months from now. By the time you pay it all, there's going to be another bill added to it, et cetera, and so forth. But I didn't want to be bothered with stuff. But the Lisa I am today, I face challenges head on. If any challenge come, I'm facing it because I'm getting it off the table, off my plate. And that's who I am today. And I go into prayer meditation, and then whatever it seems like it's overwhelming to me, I transmute and give it to God and keep going, guys. I don't give up. And I ask you guys, don't give up on yourself. Don't let people make you give up, because they don't like who you are. They don't like that you're healing. They don't like that you're taking care of yourself. You got people out there who really don't like that, male and female. They look at you, you're taking care of your health. You go to the gym, you take care of your body, you take care of your hair, you take care of every aspect of your life because you love yourself. And they look at you like something's wrong with you. We're supposed to take care of ourselves, you know? Because when you, especially the physical and mental aspect of our life, because without that, we can't take care of ourselves or anybody else. We're supposed to love ourselves. Why would somebody want to stop you from loving yourself? That's somebody who needs to go and heal. They need to ask God to help them and they need to go and heal. Nobody should be trying to keep someone in a place of toxicity. That means that they are unhealed and they need to I would suggest therapy in the first place and then, ask God to help them. Because, I talked about something on Friday that nobody has a right to play God in your life. And it's the truth. You're adults. We all are adults here. Nobody has a right to tell somebody who they should see or what they can have or what they can't have, especially if they have the credentials and qualification for something. They did the work for something. They really put in the work. You don't have a right to tell them they can't have it. You don't get to play God in somebody's life. It's ridiculous. The old version of myself was tired and did not want to be bothered and, was subservient to people because, oh, if I said the wrong thing, it's going to start an argument. If I do this and that, they're going to, because for 10 years I was in a toxic verbal relationship where I couldn't even talk to other people, unless I got some permission. But guys, like I told you, I grew up in a setting of Jehovah Witness environment with no choice of my own because my mother went into that when I was about 6. And then when I decided I didn't want that after I became an adult, I just got thrown out of it. But I was so subservient because, I was afraid that if I wasn't, this and that was going to happen. So what I feared the most did happen. But it was the best thing that happened. It didn't seem like it at the time. But as I, start working on myself years later and to the point I am now today, it is the best thing because I would never be who I am today if it wasn't for that. This new me speak out truths, give difficult problems to God and then I keep moving. I get sad like everybody else. I get grief. Yesterday, I felt a lot of it because I wanted to talk to my mom about something and I can't. And, but I give it to God. And the vows I keep to God is saving my life and then putting a protection on it. Because, like I said, I just anything that's going to distract me from being on this path, I give that challenge to God and ask God to do that while I stay on this path to heal, but not only to heal, but to help other people by talking about what I've gone through and how I've gotten through it. Because maybe what I'm saying to a lot of you will resonate with some of you, and know that you're supposed to love yourself. I'm not talking about being in love with yourself, but love yourself enough to know that you are worth it and that you don't have to settle for what is just in front of you just because. Never allow anyone to tell you you have to settle for toxicity. No one have to settle for abuse and toxicity. When you love yourself, you're going to know what's for your highest good. And if something is not for your highest good, to leave it where it is. Now, one of the vows that I'm honoring is by being on this channel, helping others to do the same, because I made a vow to God that if He helped me and bring me from the place of dirt and ashes, and uplift me, that I will help other people. Other people need to be helped because I've seen a lot of people be in despair. And, it was a guy who used to, when I was at church, this guy used to encourage me a lot and talk to me because I was just, especially when I first lost my mother. And then he passed away not too long ago, and I was devastated behind it because because he was like an inspiration as well. And it made me realize how short life is. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Just because someone is in their 20s, 30s, or 40s doesn't mean that tomorrow is promised to us. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us, and that's why we have to enjoy our life, embrace it, embrace new beginnings, because all this other stuff doesn't mean anything. It's toxicity and things. It's wasting time, people. And I ask, I'll tell everyone that I started out with therapy, and then everything else flowed after. As I continue to show up for therapy week after week, and I started to do the pro and a con list of what should be in my life, what shouldn't. And then I started to creatively do things. Music helps me a lot. Going for walks, hanging out, going to the gym, and just listening to uplifting videos. You know, Laughter is a medicine, as far as, laughter is a medicine to help you as well when you're going through difficult times. And having a support system, if you don't have that, therapy, because it's an outlet for the pain, because it's something to release that pain that you feel within. Take a step and God will do the rest. And as you take, even if you take a half a step, I promise you, and you are in an upright, God will help you. And what I had to learn, guys, is why would I give up on myself if God has my back? Because if I'm riding with God, you know, what else do I need? Continue to move forward and give the difficult problems to God and stay on this path. It's not easy. I would not never tell you that it's easy, but it's worth it. Um, one day at a time, one step at a time, God will do the rest when you learn to trust Him. And I believe that, and I see it every aspect of my life. Remember, guys, it is so much better to be at a place of peace than to be in pieces. Thank you guys for watching today. Share this video with other people, because some people are in despair and they need to be uplifted so that they don't stay in that place of despair. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel so that you know when I'm here, so that you can show up, and continue to share the videos with other people who, need to hear the message. Thank you. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. And you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.